at the spot where the lights are bright. We're laughing, shouting, holding on real tight. Just declaring that old school sound in the rhythm of night, where the fun's always found. Here we're rolling all the way, just let the good times flow in this pixelated land where the wild ones go. Cruising at the arcade floor, we're shooting in Gallagher Rose. Yeah, we're glowing at the Pixel Show. Let's blast them at the game machine glow. Well, everybody playing, everybody scoring at the ballroom touring.
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you guys for being so patient. I'm trying to get situated here a little bit. Give me 1 second, guys. Super Gamer Dudes went over a little bit longer, but that's a-okay. We had a good time over there, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to watch it. So glad to be here. We might have a guest coming in. I don't know. Sent a link out. As you can see, the one and only Burger Time Babe is not with us right now. She may make an appearance, but unfortunately, our daughter is like, nah, we good. She's very comfortable. She's very comfortable. But we're gonna have a great show tonight, guys. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. You know what that means? We're going to be doing some fun stuff. I'm trying to add in my extra camera here because we got to get the extra camera. You know how that is, guys. I'm gonna add this camera in, so I have that there. All right, cool. All right. So tonight, several different topics, but the main one's going to be our home consoles going away. Is this the end of home consoles? This is a topic I was kind of sitting on, just kind of thinking about for a while. And I thought, this would be something fun to talk with you guys about, as well as just see what your opinions are, and then just do our normal thing. We got to start off with a drink, and we got to talk about a couple lighter articles, things going on in the community, as well as maybe some heavier things. But before we talk about that, let's get our drink on, and then we'll say hello to the chat. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and pull up our drink of the month. Now, you guys remember why we have this drink of the month? This is called the Quiet Professional, and that is not here. Oh, there it is. The Quiet Professional. This is in honor of one of the co-founders of Sega, who happened to pass away, and we wanted to make sure that there was just something done in his remembrance, maybe a little bit here. So we went ahead and made this Quiet Professional. Let's go ahead and get the other camera up here, and we're going to make it for y'all. Boom! We gotta have the camera. Right? Gotta have the camera. All right, so this is not a hard drink to make, and if you have someone who loves old fashions, this one will be top tier for them. Top tier. So what you do here, you have some amaretto. So I use Disaronno. That's what I'm using here. Boop, boop. There you go. And you do 1 ounce of that. Let's go ahead and get that in there. How's everybody's week been, man? I was saying this on Super Gamer Dudes. Monday was great. That I got the day off, but it made the rest of the week totally stink. and it's just because you're trying to catch up. Yeah, the Monday is great to have off, but then everything kind of takes off, and then you're stuck Tuesday, and it's like, man, I'm so far behind. And then it's like, well, now that bleeds over into Wednesday, and then that bleeds over into Thursday. Now we're on Friday, and it's like it wouldn't stop the whole week. But it's that's why I'm so glad that you guys are here. Now we have half an ounce of maple syrup. Make sure you get a good kind of maple syrup. As you can see, I've been making this drink. Actually made it weekend for some friends that came over. You want a half ounce of this. If you want a little bit less sweeter, you can go a quarter of an ounce, but I always do half an ounce because I like my stuff a little sweeter. Oop, right on in there. All right. And then we got 2 ounces of bourbon. The bourbon of choice tonight is Buffalo Trace. I was using Bullet, but I ran out. I don't know why. And let's go. It has been in and out fast food joint popping often. Your mic in the last couple episodes has been going in and out. How's it now? Audio choppy. That's not good. That's not good. Not good at all. We got one more here. How we do?
Hey guy, how's it going?
Good. I don't know why my mic is going choppy. They're saying. Hold on 1 second.
Well, it's probably because of those super gaming dudes and their incredibly inconsiderate runtime all over your show.
I
That's what
know.
they were doing. I couldn't believe it.
Now you sound staticky to me too. I wonder what's going on. Let me do some.
It could be restream, perhaps.
Yes, it could be restream. But let me finish this drink. Hopefully that it'll fix it here a little bit. I don't know. I turned off some things. Sometimes it's bad. I did change some things with my mic. I tested it and it all sounded good, but maybe those things made it worse. I don't know. All right, but we need 2 ounces of the bourbon. We're using Bullet bourbon, or not Bullet. I mean Buffalo Trace. 2 ounces of that we're going to put right into there. So, how are you with old fashions? Do you like old fashions?
Oh, I love old fashions.
Yes.
I do. Yes, they're very good. I've tried some premixes. I think I debuted one of the premixes last Sunday that is pretty good, pretty stout. It's about 50% alcohol, which is it's all good in my book. But I like this particular. I think it's St. Elmo's. It brings out a lot of the orange flavor that you usually lose in a premix. So as far as premixes go, it was pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let me try and see if I can go on my settings here and fix the microphone. Let me see. Does that help anybody? I've turned it up a little bit to see if that helps. Let me know in the chat, guys, if that helps. But yeah, that's all it is to make this drink here. I garnish with a cherry usually. Can you hear me okay, Fox? Do I sound okay to you?
I can hear you fine. You're a little bit choppy, but not bad. It's not bad.
Okay. I'm a little frazzled.
How do you so with the cherry though? Like, because I think that some of the old fashions, that's what they're missing. They tend to be too citrusy, too orange. When you do the cherry, is it just the cherry, or is a little bit of the cherry like the maraschino sort of juice? What are you going on there?
Normally, I just put a cherry in this one because this one is not a old fashioned. It tastes like an old fashioned, but as more of a cherry, it takes away a lot of that
Gotcha.
citrusy flavor to it. So it's
and you're using the amaretto too. Okay,
yes.
that's okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So this was actually by
very nice.
Yeah, a guy I know, the Whiskey Idiots. He's over there on Instagram. I listen to his stuff, and this is one of the ones he made called The Quiet Professional. And so I did it more or less because of David Rosen from Sega passing away, and he was a quiet professional because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he existed. So I was like, hey, it's seems like it fit the scenario for sure. I sound like my crown. Takes my crown. There you go. Takes my crown. All righty. Okay. Did you just call Fox a whiskey idiot? No, I did not. I did not happen to do
he did. That horrible man.
All right.
Not at all.
So let me go ahead and call out people in the chat. Everyone who came over from Super Gamer Dudes, thank you so much for doing so. We got Meatball Saucy. He says, I mean, we are not bordering on last night. Yeah, we are. Super Gamer Dudes just ended. Yes, thank you, Marine50, for letting us know. Billy Woods Mods, thank you so much for showing up. Really do appreciate it. And then Burger Time Babe, she showed up even though she's right upstairs with the child. Um, and then we have John Fritz, always here every Friday. And then we have the best moderator in the business, Jason Little Alien. Thank you so much. Marine50, he's in here too. Nice music, love it. I don't know if you get to hear the intro, but I have a jazz theme. It's what I usually use because I was like, everyone else is using this AI rap stuff.
Ooh,
Cool. But I'm like, no, I like more of the
yeah.
bluesy, jazzy stuff. So that's what mine
When
is.
you're sipping, a whiskey or a beverage, jazz is very, very fitting. I agree.
I forgot the bitters. Guys. Don't forget to put your bitters in there.
Mm.
I just realized that. Let me see. Israel Gaming. He's here. Always glad to see you. PB&J Racing. Cocktail time. They know what time it is. Saint Spirits. A countdown after being 20 minutes later. Yes, there's still a countdown. I had to have time to pee. That's
That's
exactly
a
what
good
I
point.
did. I was like,
Good
it's
point.
time to pee.
Yep.
And then we have who else we got here tonight? Let's see. I already said hi to Saint Spirits. There it is. Gamer Fridge, he's here. I skipped work for this. He said, well, thank you so much. JJ is here. Glad to see you. He's saying, hello, everyone. Starting off with a drink, still waiting on dinner and a movie. Got guy 88 in the kitchen. So we're gonna do that one day. We're gonna have our kitchen down here, we're gonna make it like a arcade themed meal. I don't
That's
know.
right. Yeah, you've got. So for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna give them a little bit of
Oh,
background.
go ahead. Go
I'm gonna give
ahead,
a
by
little
all
bit of peek
means.
behind the curtain, because I was lucky enough to, deliver a cabinet to this man's house, which opened up the floodgates of real arcades. So his wife
Oh,
is probably mad at me. She's probably mad. It's okay. So if what you don't see is that Galaga Guy obviously has a great shot of the arcade behind him, but what's in front of him, just to the left, is a full-blown kitchen. Like his basement is just perfection. You got the kitchen, you got the arcade room, he has a whole bourbon room. This man has the setup for sure.
yes. I try. I was like, if anything ever happens and we have to come down here for like a tornado or whatever, I want to
You're
be
good.
comfortable.
No,
Yes.
you're good. You've got it covered. It's awesome.
All right, and we have Fox in the chat. This is I don't know if I've seen this name before. Connell01. Hey peeps, just on from Super Game Room Dudes. Awesome. My wife says I need to get glasses because I have a really hard time reading. I'm like, what do you mean? I
Oh,
don't need
that's
to see to read.
everyone. When you get it to a certain age, buddy.
I'm not in my 20s anymore.
That's true.
Tim York. It's clipping a little. Thank you so much for letting us know. Let us know if it's getting better. Hi,
It sounds
Jim
better.
Halper. Good to see you. Let me go here. MSU Rich, he's in the chat too. We got B Kirby, the Retro Ranger. I mean, the Chicago arcade guy. I think the other night that was Michael B kept calling him the wrong name, so that's where I got that from. All right, guys, thank you so much. We have a great show though. I'm so glad you showed up because Burger Time Babe was not able to make it. She felt really bad.
Well, no, and it's not her fault. Listen, the show ran 40 minutes over. It's not her fault. I felt so bad for you. Of course, I'm just doing my thing. I'm having conversation. I'm having fun. And I'm looking at the timer. I'm like, oh my God, this poor man has a show after this.
Yeah, I told her after my show, there's Late Night Live, which is on at midnight to us. And I joked around with my wife. It's like, oh yeah, they invited me on too. So I'm just going to keep going. And she was like, what? Yeah, I'm like, I'll just live stream for 6 hours. It'll be fine. But she says I'm gonna try, so she's gonna try and make it. But so one of the things I want to talk about, which we talked about, everyone's kind of been talking about this week. Another thing that kind of sucked was Shiloh. We know that he passed, and I've said things on Arcades Anonymous. I said things on Super Game Room Dudes, but I want to make sure even on my channel that we give a little bit of respect to someone who has passed. It's really important to the community. As I mentioned on the show, Shiloh, I didn't get to talk to him much in person. I saw the guy, I said hello to him, shook his hand, and he was just a hoot the entire time we were at Cleveland Gaming Classic. Every time he was there, he was just a fun guy to be around. And again, that reflects, I feel like, onto the people around you. If you're someone who has a
Yes.
business or you have friends, and they kind of reflect who you are as a person, and that's why I really felt with his with their booth there is, again, Eduardo, he was such a fun guy to be around, and you could tell he really loved what he was doing. And it's hard to love the job you're doing if you have, a terrible boss. That's kind of how it is.
Yes. Yes.
And so with him, with how much they loved it, it kind of reflected his love for it, and you could just tell through what his decisions were through the years of
Mm.
New Wave Toys, how he felt about that. And so I just have mad respect for the guy. I mean, he went out on a limb and started this company, and he built it up, and he just made it awesome with these little machines. They were so cool. They looked so great, and were to the T what it would be if you just blew that thing up. It would be a full size arcade. So I know you said stuff on Super Games Dudes too, but if you want to add anything, please, by all means, chime in.
It's one, when we all, cross over, it would be wonderful to have the things that are being said about Shallow being said about me, because he really was. He was just, when I say he's the coolest guy to meet, I mean, I don't mean it like in a weird kind of generic sort of way. I mean, when I say cool, I mean inviting, um, interested, engaged. He looked at you. He wanted to know what you're saying and what you're thinking and what are your thoughts on this or that, and then he couldn't wait to share his ideas and opinions and all this in a very constructive, collaborative, sort of fun way. Like, I mean, like a kid who's excited to tell you about his new toy or his new whatever. And the man was born in 70. I think somebody had posted that, a little bit older than me, but just the coolest guy in the room. And that's not because of bravado or because of some sort of ego. It's because of his willingness to sort of just engage with everybody and talk to you at length about, hey, how you doing, what's going on, and just this mellowness, this environment that he sort of generated around him that just invited you in. And everybody knows that guy that's just chill, that's just like, listen, we're having fun, let's have a smoke, let's have a drink, let's have a sit down, let's have a talk, let's have a meal. That guy. And he was like that the second I met him. It was wild. I've met a few guys in my life that are like this, and when you do, it's just he was like a breath of fresh air, where you don't have to worry about kind of getting to know him, and it's a little weird at first. None of that existed. He was just Shiloh. He was just that dude, and you couldn't wait to talk to him. You couldn't wait to share your idea about whatever, an arcade or something that you did as a kid, and to see if he had the same experience. And that kind of person is, man, it's kind of somebody you want to aspire to be. And so it's a huge loss. It is. But I think the better way to look at it, as it should be motivation for all of us to kind of change the way we think, to change our attitudes, and to sort of look at that and be like, you know what? I want to be more like that guy. I want to be more just like when you're meeting people for the first time, just be accepting, just be cool, just be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And there's so much heaviness in the world, and Shiloh wasn't heavy. He was very chill. He was very light. He was very
He was more
fun.
tall than heavy. He was more.
He
tall
was
than
very
heavy.
tall. He was. I never tried to pick him up. He could be heavy. He might have been heavy. He probably was heavy. But no, you're exactly right. And it just a gut punch for sure, but a great man for sure. And every chance we get, we gotta talk about him and talk about just the good things that he did, and how we can learn from that and move forward.
Yeah. But I know there's it's really hit a lot of people. I know Meatball Saucy, he's one of the people that it seems to really have affected him. So he's kindly is leaving the chat during this part. So
It's
we
okay,
won't.
brother. It's okay.
Yeah,
We got you,
yeah,
man. We love you too.
yeah. It's just it's heart wrenching stuff like this, and it was a shock. I mean, whenever I heard in a group chat that I'm in, and I was just like, "Are you what? This is crazy!" Like I never thought, and it happened. You know, as it was back in December is whenever he passed. It took kind of 3 weeks for us to even realize that it happened, and it was just like, oh my goodness, yeah, it was a crazy week to add on to everything else that was going on in the week. So, but I don't want to dwell on that too much. This is Friday night. We're gonna sit back, chill, have our drinks, and do some talking here. But there was an article that came out that really kind of sparked this conversation. That I was like, you know what, we should talk about this. But Switch 2, you did have a Switch 2, right? And you decided, nah, not for me, and you went ahead and got rid of it.
What? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was funny. It was an impulse buy because it was one of those things that they told us we could never find. And then I just went to work one day and I just went to the Walmart and I thought, hey, let me just check, right? Let me just see. I know they obviously don't have one. And the guy was like, yeah, we got like 6 of them. So I bought one and it was cool. I mean, I think the form factor was better. A larger size was definitely good. But I just kind of felt like, you know what? There's not enough here for me to stay interested. So let me just sell it now. And then maybe later on when the games kind of get going, I'll purchase it later.
That's kind of been my struggle with it. Is there's just no games for me personally.
Yeah.
And the games that they do have are a lot of them are just ones that have been out for years on other consoles, and they're like, well, now you can play it on the Switch, and it's like,
I
okay, I have this on my Xbox and
how,
my
how do you feel? I
on
mean,
my
at this
Steam.
point, like this has been going on for decades. How do you feel about that generally speaking? Like now available on Nintendo Switch, I feel like it's like it was a cutting edge game or it was a really good game when it came out. And now you're sort of downgrading the experience but you're trying to sell it as some kind of new thing. I mean, how do you feel about that, like that whole marketing tactic?
Um, I I think that if you were doing that and the game was lower in price, but if you're going to sell me a 3 or 4 year old game on a Switch and it's $70 now and it's been out for 3 years and it's $20 everywhere else, what? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me
Yeah.
personally. But yeah, I don't really see it as new because I'm like I can buy this on anything else right now. It's not really pulling me. If it would have been, the Cyberpunk 2077 is a big one that they were like, oh, this is on Switch 2 now. Now, if that would have came out at the same time, like it's on Nintendo Switch and Xbox and PlayStation all the same, okay, that makes sense. But now it's like, who cares? I don't know. It's done. I don't
I,
really know.
yeah, I'm
It
with
doesn't
you.
pull me. It doesn't pull me
I,
in that direction at all.
I'm with you. I think I'm over this whole like eventually it will come to the Nintendo type thing and it will be the
Yeah.
same price and it will be sort of a downgraded experience. Like I think that Nintendo exists because of their own first party games and third party is almost it's like to your point, I can buy that on everything else. And as soon as Xbox or PlayStation comes out with a portable device, it's like it's going to be game over as far as third party games for Nintendo. I think Nintendo will thrive because of its first party games. But if I can have my PSP 2 or PS Vita 2 or whatever the Xbox is going to make, if I can just have that, I would and get it the same day as everything else, I will just do that if I want to play it portable. So
Yeah.
Nintendo is unfortunately they're resting on their laurels here. Like it's a cost of doing business. It's a cost of making a system that's not super powerful, you know, and the benefit is well, it'll run our games and it's a lower cost option, but you're not getting those games day one. And
And we have
you know,
Israel Gaming here is talking about his Switch 2. Have you seen his cab that he made?
oh, his
Yeah,
cabinet
Joel
is
made for him.
beautiful. That's the
Beautiful.
best use of a Switch 2 I've ever seen. 100%.
And that Jim Harper has a different perspective. He really he enjoys replaying the games with his son. So I get that. The higher resolution has
Yep.
additional features. So I understand some people are okay with it. My call cards, honestly, the games still haven't hit for Switch 2 starting in a few weeks. The non-game key cards will be more regular. That also is what kills me because that was the draw for me with Switch is I want to buy the
Physical game.
cartridges and it's there. I have that now. Now it's
Right.
like they're going with the whole key. You put it in, it gives you a key to download it. It's depressing, but
I agree. I agree. I hate that you have to even look for that. Like it should just be like if you buy a disc or a cartridge, you have the game. But now you have to look, is this really the game or is this not the game? Like, what are we buying? And I hate the fact that they do that. It should be either digital or the full version on physical. And that's it. Don't try to play this weird game where it's like a key. I hate that.
yeah. Every time, babe, I think he's just going to come in and say hello. He's just going to say hi real quick. Oh, you want to? Never mind. She said, "I want a drink." So I
Yes,
guess she's gonna-
ma'am. You bring
Yes.
her. Yes, absolutely. That
so she's
woman
gonna
needs
get
a
mic'd
break.
up here. Yes, yes. She's bringing me the bitters too. I forgot the bitters.
Oh,
But
you did. You forgot the bitters. How dare you?
I did. But this is what kind of sparked it. Is Switch 2? Apparently, we're wrong. Me and you, because it's the best-selling console of 2025. If that means anything.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yes. So says it's been the best-selling console of 2025.
Hey,
in the
real
US.
quick, before we move on, how many other consoles were released in 2025? Do you know? Right.
Listen, iconic.
It's like, well,
Well, yes, but it sold 4.4 million units in the U.S. So
sure.
yeah,
I mean,
so
I feel like there was once again extenuating circumstances. They launched a console in a year where no one else was launching a console.
yeah, so that's where I was like, the Switch, whenever it came out, it kind of was a different beast. I feel like from other home consoles because it finally
Yes.
gave us, even though there probably was maybe something else out there, it gave us, finally the portability, as well as the home console part of it. It kind of
Yes.
was that hybrid.
Yes.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta switch out these mics.
I felt like it was Nintendo.
But I just can't hear what you're saying. So you can say whatever you want. And that's okay.
I felt like it was Nintendo
There we
fully
go.
committing
Now I
to
should
the portable console. That's what I felt like. They were not going to half-ass it anymore. They were going to fully commit to this portable console where Sony has, as you know, the PSP, they were all in. The Vita, they were kind of half-ass and then they gave up. Where Nintendo was like, listen, if we're going to go with a lower powered system anyway, let's capitalize on that and let's make it a gimmick. And you can play it on the go, you can play it at home, and it worked.
Yeah, I'm scooting over for her. She's got to get up here. All right, now we're doing
Hello.
it. She be coming.
Burgertimebabe, how's it going?
Fox asks, "How's it going?"
I'm so tired.
She's so tired. She's working like 3 jobs at a time.
Yes, it never ends. It never ends.
That's why she needs a drink.
That's right. That's right. She's like, make it now.
She brought the bitters. Make that woman a drink.
I did.
Yes. So that's what really though I was questioning because I'm like, is this kind of the start of the end of home consoles? So I kind of wanted to go over, a little bit handhelds history, what we've done with those, how those have helped through the years, the pros and cons of those, and then to move on to, just talking more about home consoles, what those bring, things like that. So that's kind of what I was like, do you think eventually home consoles are going to go away? So I thought if we talked about that for a little bit here, I'm making a drink with as fast as I can, guys, because we got to get her something in here.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I think that the home console will never go away. Now, the form that it will take will be different. But when you come home, you want something to do, and if these these gaming companies don't capitalize on that and give you a reason to sit in the chair and play their console or their game or their whatever, you're going to go outside. You're going to touch grass. You're going to look at the sun, and they can't have that. So they're gonna have so they're gonna want to produce something that keeps you in the seat, right? And keeps you buying their games. So that's the motivation, I think, from these consoles is the continued revenue stream of not just the console purchase, but the game, the downloadable content, all that stuff. So they're gonna have to keep making a device so that they can keep making money. And that's just, I think it's as simple as that.
Absolutely. So I was going to define what I mean by home console too, because I know there's some people might say, well, this and that, but this I had I think actually it was Wikipedia of all things. I was like, this kind of summarizes kind of how I feel what a home console really means. Let me get it pulled up here. I should be better at this. I'm going to pull the Michael B. I should be better at this by now, guys. I'm just terrible at this. As he says every time. I should be better at this.
I should be better at this.
Yeah, I should be better at this. But that doesn't really help if I zoom in on that one. So this might be a little bit harder. But it defines it as a home video game console is a pre-designed piece of electronic hardware that is meant to be placed at a fixed location at one's home, connected to a display like a television screen or computer monitor, and to an external power source to play video games on using one or more video game controllers. So this differs from a handheld console, with which has a built-in screen, controller, buttons, and features, and a power supply like a battery or a battery pack. So that's what I mean by a home console. Something that has to be fixed, sitting right there, can't move, has to be hooked up to a TV. So this is going to be before the Switch, really. That's what I want to be talking about. But and handhelds too. So I have here a little pros and cons list. Hopefully it pops up and doesn't cut our mics and make them all weird.
Yeah, it was pretty choppy.
Yeah. So
It
home
sounds
console.
good now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a $5 super chat here from Stock Jock. Home
There
console
we go.
will never die. The Intellivision is proof because it's still the best and only console you'll ever need. Thank you so much for that super chat, Stock Jock. And yeah, Intellivision will never die. Will never die at all. So when it comes to a home console, we have pros and cons. Obviously, it's more powerful. It's more optimized.
Mm-hmm.
Has a bigger screen. It seems more immersive. You have better multiplayer online, things like that. The cons to these is it does need a dedicated space. It's a higher cost, and it does have limited performance, as in, people always complain about the frame rates not being enough, as well as doing upgrades. It kind of is hard to do a lot of upgrades to these devices. They're pretty much set. There's some things you can do, but there's not very much as far as consoles go. They're pretty much set where they're going to be for the lifespan of that console. So those are the pros and cons that I kind of sat down and thought about and came up with. Was there any other things that you thought maybe are more of a pro or con of those? You think this is good coverage of that? Or is there something else you think, this is also good or bad when it comes to consoles themselves?
I think it's more of a comment. It's more of a commentary on gaming itself. So if you want, if the pursuit is always graphics, performance, all that, you're probably going to be a PC gamer. If you're more of a casual gamer, you could see companies like Sony, Nintendo maybe partnering with whoever's making the most advanced cell phone. So Apple, Google, whatever, Samsung. You could see them sort of creating this gaming platform that exists on a cell phone, that will keep consumers engaged. I mean, I don't know. I'm of two minds of this. I want to come home and I want to put my cell phone down and play this dedicated, device for gaming. I think I'm in the minority. I think most people would rather just come home and maybe they put their cell phone down, but they've opened up their tablet, their iPad, whatever, and they're happy with whatever performance that can provide. And if that's the case, then maybe we have the Sony app and no longer the Sony console. I don't know.
Yeah. It definitely, as far as, I mean, this is all that I'm sure you too, this is all we really knew growing up is, you didn't play too many handhelds, which we'll talk about handhelds here in a second, but home consoles is where it was at. This is where like you waited in line till midnight and you got
Oh,
it,
yeah.
or you waited in line for hours at Walmart. You got someone told you, hey, we think there's going to be a shipment in, and you went and waited hours on end for. Mine was the Wii. I waited in line forever for the Wii. I don't know why, but that's the one I waited for. Did you ever wait for one, Burger Time Babe?
No, I didn't, but there was a GameCube fiasco.
GameCube fiasco?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That would be the last one I'd think. GameCube, they were like
I feel like there's
going
a
for
story
$100
here. Yeah.
bucks.
Well, no, it was like we had one, but then something happened and it was messed up, and we had to go back. And it was just a whole disaster.
Yeah.
I don't think the only thing I personally have ever waited on was an iPod Touch.
Oh, those are nifty now.
Yeah, and they lost the shipment,
Uh,
and then as soon as everyone left the line, like they
Yeah.
found it. It was
It's
great.
very sad.
Now on the handhelds, and I'm so glad to put the PSP on here because I even thought of you, Fox, while I was making this. It's like I
Love
gotta put the PSP up here.
Love it.
So we had handhelds growing up. I know there's obviously more than these handhelds that I have displayed. There's older ones. There's more in the mix here, but these are kind of the standard ones of me where I was growing up. The pros for these were they had portability, convenience, instant gaming experience. You picked this up, you played something real fast, you put it back down, and you were good. You didn't have to spend hours. It wasn't an RPG that took you 70 hours to beat. You just picked it up, played it, and you were done. And then also too, no TV occupancy, so you didn't need to have a TV, especially with after getting married and stuff. The TV kind of isn't yours anymore, so that's
Pretty
also
much,
a
yeah.
plus with handhelds.
Yeah.
The cons for these battery life, especially before we had rechargeable batteries. That's why I have the Game Gear on there. That sucker took 8 AA batteries.
Oh, it was horrible.
And it lasted like 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, something like that.
It was
And
really, really bad.
it was horrible. We had one. Actually, we bought it like I don't forget. It was like at the end of like the 90s. We bought one. Just my brother saw one at a garage sale and he bought it. And we didn't understand. We're just like, oh, cool. And then we're like 8 batteries. Holy moly! So it was not good. Very limited. Our smaller screen, less immersive. So obviously, playing a game on these wasn't as you weren't really as into it as you will with a giant screen in front of you. Very limited performance. I mean, we really didn't have 3D, 3D handhelds until like the PSP DS era. Like,
My first handheld was a 3DS.
wow, your first handheld was a 3DS.
No way.
Mine was a Game Boy Pocket. A red Game Boy Pocket.
Well, there's a story behind it.
Okay.
I specifically said I wanted a Game Boy, and for some reason, my dad like misunderstood what I said, and he bought me a Walkman.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Yeah.
Same difference.
So, yeah.
Completely different device. That's horrible.
Yes.
Now for something completely different. Meatball Saucy back in the chat. Thank you for coming back, Meatball Saucy. He says at Stock Jock Television, and television was a cheap apple. How many apples do you eat? Get off my lawn. He's coming back. Shots. All right. So with this too, obviously this had really limited performances. No upgrades for these either, and apparently there's reported back and neck pain when it comes to handhelds, which I have never experienced, but apparently people are. Maybe they're I don't know people who are like turning 50 this year or something. They probably complain.
That's uncalled for. That's that's a myth. Actually, that's no, it's not happening.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But this is where after seeing these, this is whenever again the Switch came out, and it kind of brought all this to a head, where you had kind of the best of both worlds when it came to handhelds or to hybrids. So these started coming out. You had a large gaming library with the Switch, especially over the years that it came out. I mean, there was tons of games on the Switch. You have the portability. You have the convenience. The instant gaming experience. You don't have to take up a TV if you don't want to. And online gaming, more or less, that came out a little bit later. I don't know if you played the Switch Online. It's not that great.
Yeah.
But and if you would have told me 2 or 3 years ago that like, hey, online gaming on the handheld is going to be pretty good, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Because I have a Steam Deck, and I was like, the Steam Deck, it's not very good for me. Like I've tried online playing, and I end up latency. I end up dead without even hearing the shot. I'm just like dead on the ground, and I'm like, what is happening? But now that I have the ROG Ally Xbox, that thing, it's amazing. It amazes me how much it can do and how much you can keep up. You can play any online game on that thing, and pretty much it's not as good as the system itself, an Xbox tied to a wall, but it does the job very, very well. You do have the smaller screen. Battery life again is still an issue. Comfort issue too. People said holding them in your hands, they're heavy sometimes, especially Steam Deck doesn't quite fit your hands right, and then it's like, what do you do? And as far as like again, like the PC handhelds, there's only digital and there's limited performance also within those. So this is honestly why I think personally that the home gaming console is going to go away, because if they can get this right and keep upgrading these to the point where they're going to be able to play online easily, you can still hook these up to your TV. So even things like the comfort issue and the battery life, if you want the home console experience, you still can get that. The smaller screen, it's taken away because you put it up on the big screen. The battery life, you don't have to worry about it. Comfort issue, it's gone. I mean, to me, it's almost like they're taking away a lot of the issues that you have with handhelds, because you can now dock them onto a television and get most of the home console experience within that. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah. Fox.
So, being the older guy in the room, this this was actually sort of pioneered by Sega. Of course, Sega does everything first, right? The Sega Nomad had this ability to, you could plug it into a TV and you could plug a Genesis controller into it. You could play Genesis games, on the Nomad. But Sony really kind of fine-tuned it with the PSP Go. They made a docking station for the PSP Go. You could put that into the actual docking station. You could actually connect via Bluetooth a PS3 controller, and you could play these PSP Go games on your HD TV. And then Nintendo comes along and they do it right, in my opinion. They do it the right way. They make it simplistic.
Yes.
You can play it on the go, you can play it at home. It made sense the way that they executed it. But this idea of this sort of portable home console idea has been in the works for a long time. And I think, to your point, it is the future. Like it's miniaturizing this, making it convenient, whether we put it on an iPhone, whether we put it on a separate device. It is convenience. It is capturing a market, gaming on the go. Like, I don't have to wait to get home. I can just play the game whenever. I can play a game at break, at work, during lunch, whatever, and you can, as long as you can get that audience sort of engaged, that's what you want to do. So if you can take out as many barriers as possible, portability is the name of the game, 100%. So what shape that sort of takes is going to be interesting, because I think that there is a thought process of, let's just use what we all have anyway. We have a phone. Let's make our games run on the phone, and whatever that performance is it is what it is, and it's fine. Or we can make a separate device that people have to carry with them. What do you want to do? Do you want to have a phone and a gaming thing, like a gaming console? You and I would say, sure. Average people, probably not. So I'm curious to see how it goes. I think that PlayStation is going to come out with some kind of a portable device. I don't know if it's going to be the PS6, if it's going to be a portable device, or if it's going to be a companion device to it. But at some point, I think these companies are going to say, listen, we can't keep making hardware. We have to make either one hardware or we're just going to switch to software. I think Xbox is in that camp where they're thinking, let's just make software. To hell with it. It's cheaper. It's more profitable. All that. It's interesting. I still see the value in a box at home that I can come home to. It's a separate experience, and I think people will still miss that tactile experience. But maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know.
Yeah, and I included a couple other, things that, like with I know, like you said, the PlayStation has been rumored that they're coming out with some type of handheld, but they do have their PS Portable right now, which is kind of a hybrid backwards. They had a home console, and they're like, hey, let's go ahead and give you a hand you can use to access that console, and you can walk around with it if you're somewhere. And with Wi-Fi, you can still access your console, which now it's all over the cloud gaming. They're trying to do with those also. And then you have the Steam box, the Steam machine that they're coming out with, which is kind of like a console PC hybrid, which I think the purpose of that one is that they're going to try and push you to go to a PC. Like they're trying to get people in the door like, hey, PC gaming is pretty fun. Here's an easy way to access it. And then hopefully those people will get the ball rolling in the direction of like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should get a better PC. I could play these games that now look better. And but then you kind of run into the whole, you have to have a dedicated system, a desk, the monitors, but I do think that's a hybrid in that aspect where it's trying to push people in a certain direction. But the fallbacks, which we're seeing now with the Switch 2, is physical gaming with a lot of these handhelds doesn't happen. And I feel like more of the gaming companies are pushing that way with like digital home consoles even. They're saying, hey, don't put a disc drive in there. Don't put DVD player in there or Blu-ray. We're going to just make it all digital to get people kind of used to the fact that, hey, you don't have physical discs anymore. And if you do have them, they're worthless because they're just keys to download it off the internet. So I think that's almost like more things are pushing towards this direction of like, hey, you like the Switch and Switch 2, so let's go ahead and just kind of keep trickling down that alleyway, and eventually it's going to be PC and a handheld you can dock. That's kind of how I feel it's going to be.
I think it's going to from the company's perspective. It's like, how do we maximize profits, which is number one.
Yes.
And what's that path? So is it software that someone downloads? Yes. Is it something that it doesn't require hardware to play? Yes. So what does that end up looking like? It looks like let's make our games run on something they already own. I tend to go back to the phone. Everybody has a phone. So what do you do as a company? Do you make a new hardware device that is a companion device? It's the second thing I have to bring with me. Or do we just make it run on everybody else's laptop, everybody else's smartphone? I'm fearful about gaming moving forward because I think that there is a segment of gamer that wants the most cutting edge. They'll buy a $10,000 PC to run the cutting edge stuff. But I think that market is diminishing. And I think that we're left with just casual gamers that they don't want to have a bunch of stuff, and they're happy with a cheaper experience, a lesser experience on a device they already own.
Jason Alien makes a good point. Appears Amazon doesn't like the storm that's beginning. Everything that is 1 day Prime has shifted to 7 days shipping. Eek. But I know that Jeff Bezos, I saw a little clip about this. I don't know. So take it with a grain of salt because I just saw a little clip about this. But apparently he's kind of wanting consoles to go away, and then everyone subscribe to a
Of course.
subscription. Yeah, that they play off the cloud,
Yes.
and they can just keep paying money, and that's kind of that's the way Xbox is kind of going. Like everything's an Xbox. Last week we talked about how you can play an Xbox on your is it, how do you pronounce it? Hisense TV? Henson? I always
Hisense?
Hisense. That's Hisense TVs
Yes.
now.
Hisense.
Your Fire Sticks, you can play it on there now. On your phones, you can play Xbox now. I mean, that's the whole point of Xbox. Is like, hey, you can play this on anything. Just pay for Game Pass, and $30 a month or $20 a month, whatever you want to pay, and you can
Right.
just have all these games you can play anywhere. So
I'm curious, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, I don't know how much of this is nostalgia and how much of this is human nature. So I'm curious. I think that we require. I think it's more human nature that we require this tactile experience. As hunter gatherers, whatever. Men, we would go out and we would chop down a tree. We would hunt an animal. Women, even
over here.
I think that it is this basic. I think that women would hold their children. They would sew. They would weave. There's so much built into the human experience that is tactile. That is working with the materials around you to produce a thing. I think that some of that manifests itself within gaming. So we have a controller and we interface with a digital media, and then you can get good at it, right? You can get better than other people at this thing. It's a skill that you can sort of refine. If it's a fighting game, an adventure game, a beat 'em up, whatever. And when we begin to remove all these barriers, so there's no console, there's no controller, it's just a piece of glass you're swiping left and right on. Are we going to be left wanting something more? And I think I tend to think that we will, and I think that would necessitate maybe not a console, but definitely a dedicated controller for a dedicated experience. I mean, like you said, is it too much? Am I onto something? What do you think? Because you're a young man.
Still I'm in my 20s.
Exactly.
I agree with you, because not long ago we were talking about like music. Our vehicles don't have CD players anymore.
Wow.
We don't have the physical discs anymore. Everything is, in the cloud.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So it's
and we were saying how we missed it. Like, oh man, I just wish I could pop in a CD. Like,
oh yeah, because there's sometimes it's like you're trying to find something on Spotify, and then your phone's trying to connect your phone, and the Bluetooth isn't working, and it's like, I wish I could just throw in a CD and hit the mix, mix my 13 songs and let it ride. But
yeah. Well, we talk about like the Pandora's box. You buy this thing, and it's got like 10,000 games on it. But because we, as human beings, like if we have to scroll through 10,000 games, we lose interest and end up just doing something else completely. It's to your point, like CDs, cassettes, they would have 10, 20 songs on the max, and we could get in the mood for a band, and we would dig through our thing, and we would grab the CD or cassette, we put it in, and we play that, and we'd relish that experience more because of the work we had to do beforehand to even find it and then experience it. And I think that men, women, everybody, we have these sort of things that human beings need to do. We don't want to be blobs that just consume media. We want to participate in it, whether either we're creating it or we're working to experience it. And I think that as we knock down those barriers, convenience, there's like this ratio of convenience versus experience. And at some point, if it's super convenient, we're not really experiencing it. It's just we're just sort of sitting there and it's happening. We're not really experiencing it. You know,
And I mean, I I agree with what you're saying because I still have I have a bunch of NES games, and for some reason, and GameCube games because that's what I grew up with, and Xbox games, and I just can't get rid of them for some reason because I'm like, those are the game, they're there. Like if I could pick them up, back in the day, you open it up, there's a manual in there, you can look through, see all the pictures, it tells you stuff about the game, and nowadays I don't know. You click and it's cool. I mean, it's neat. It's convenient. You find a Steam sale and you're like, oh, this is $3, and I click on it and I'm like, I have it now, and then I'll never go back and play it because it's just there because it
I
was on sale and I had to buy it because it was
no,
only $3.
I'm with you. I'm 100%. I'm with you. It's some there's I think it's different for everybody, right? I think that the older generation, like myself, as you've pointed out many times, it hurts me. I think that there's
I just said someone turning 50. I didn't say you were turning 50. I just
some random person. I think that there's more of an attachment to the physical, but I think the physical at some point is not just nostalgia. I think it is a human trait to sort of want to physically grab onto something. And you raise a perfect point. Oh wow, this is available. I can download it. Great. Where's the satisfaction within that download? It's you feel like there's something missing, and what you've got to figure out for yourself is like, okay, is that just nostalgia, or is that some more basic need that I feel like I need to, if I pay you money, I feel like I need to get something in return. And maybe that's what it is. A digital file, it's totally different than a physical cartridge or a disc in a clamshell with a manual. I mean, you got to admit it's just a totally different experience.
I got limited run Shredder's Revenge, and that was the coolest. It looked like a VHS tape, and you opened it up,
so cool.
And they had the manual inside, and then it had a coupon for a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
Oh, dude!
But just like it was so cool, and that was like I'll never get rid of that because that's just like the new. I didn't even end up using the coupon because I was too scared they'd want it, and I was like, I don't want to give it to you. I want the coupon myself.
Yes.
So I kept the coupon. So it's still in there, but it just neat stuff. And that's why limited run, even though they've kind of not been doing the greatest here lately, that's why companies like that thrive because there's people like us that want the physical things there. So that's why honestly I keep coming back to this, but that's why the Switch did so well because it had them both. It had the convenience, had the physical, had so many just good things running for it. It was just such a good system. They did everything right with that. Like they didn't have manuals in the games, but you still had the box and you had the cartridge that you had to put in. And if you wanted to go digital, you could go digital, but it was just such a good hybrid console. It's like I could pick this up, take it with me like a Game Boy, or I could put it on my screen and have it displayed. That's honestly what I wish they would do in the future. I know that like Xbox and PlayStation, you can't put a disc in one of those things, and they're not gonna come out of the console. You put a disc in,
right.
But so that kind of limits them. But it would be so great if there was some way to continue on having the physical while continuing to have the convenience of the handheld stuff.
Yeah, because that was me today. After work, I was sitting there. She was sleeping, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna hop on my Switch here." And
yeah, as people with parents, I don't know, with parents, with children, we're parents. It's like having my Steam Deck, my Switch, my Rogue Ally has like been a savior kind of for us because it's like you never have the TV. It's always the kids watching something, and you just if I wanted a game, I had to wait till they went to bed. So then it's 9 o'clock at night, and then you're so tired. It's like just forget
he's
it.
actually been playing games again. So
yes. So
I think that's the realistic perspective. The only system I ever bought brand new that I waited at midnight, I was working third shift, and I clocked out and went to the Funko Land. It was a Funko Land that had it. The PSP, the first one. That was the one system I bought at midnight, the one that I had to have because of all the things you're saying. We had young kids at the time. I was working third shift, and the PSP was like, it was like this revolutionary thing. It was going to have movies and music and all this stuff, and I could fit that into my schedule. It didn't matter if the kids, like you said, if they were watching their show, I could just grab a game and sort of play, and it was cool. I think the convenience plays a factor 100%. So whether it's like we said, we talked about software, we talked about a device, whatever. I think these companies have to find a way to bridge that gap between the two, the optimal gaming experience and convenience. And I think that's something that they've been trying to figure out since the 90s.
So we'll put it on there. Do you think gamer or garage gamer? I always get gamer fridge and garage gamer. They always just flip in my head. But he says the consoles aren't dead, is what he's saying. I think that consoles in the future, honestly, I hate to say it, but I do think it's going in the way of the handhelds that you can dock and put on your TV. Like, I hate to say that because I don't like the idea that that's all there's going to be, but I don't see it going anywhere else with how they're pushing digital, how they're pushing more PC things, because even Xbox is going PC/Xbox is what they wanted to make their next console. They want you to be able to access your Steam library on the Xbox. That was the whole thing. PlayStation's come out with the handheld, which we don't know if it's a PS6, like you said, but it is a handheld. Switch is already there. I mean, you dock it and you take it off. You can do whatever with it. So I don't know if there's going to be. I'm really thinking I'm not going to be surprised if there's not home consoles the way that we used to have them going forward. I'm just not. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be like that. What do you think?
I tend to agree because of the motivations of these companies. If you're making a game, what do you want to do? Do you want to make a game that has to be printed on a disc and a cartridge and another disc that only works on Xbox? Or do you want to make a game and it's purely digital and we can just download it to whatever? I tend to think that that's what you want to do. There's the least amount of money that you have to invest. And it's just, I mean, that companies to this point are all about risk aversion. So make a game that can be downloaded to anything. I think that's like the dream scenario for most of these companies. As far as consoles go, though, like Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, I think they're going to go the way of software. I think they're going to gravitate towards the companies that are making games that used to be proprietary to those consoles, and that's what they'll become. Sony will become software. They're like, which is weird. Sony used to make everything, VCRs, freaking everything, TVs. They made everything. Yeah. They're going to go the way of software because of the amount of money, the amount of liability, risk that they're going to have to incur. It's just software. It's no big deal. Whatever. We can update it later. No big deal. Which begs the question, who's going to make the physical stuff that we're going to need? Because we're going to need this stuff. We're going to need TVs. We're going to need some electronic devices. We're going to need controllers. So what will that look like in the future? I tend to think that these companies are going to gravitate towards portable. They'll follow the Nintendo model, and then eventually they'll go all digital to where maybe there'll be a box and a controller, and eventually they'll just be a controller and software you download. I think eventually that'll be the only thing. I agree with you 100%. It'll just be a controller you buy from Sony that's a DualShock 6, 7, whatever, and then you download all the stuff or you stream it to your TV. Sadly.
That's we got a couple comments here. Gamer Fridge disagrees, says consoles are not dead. Let me see here. Billy Woods Mods. I hate that slowly owning things is going away / dying. The fact that everything is going subscription based is just another way to nickel and dime us. Exactly. And you don't own it. That's the thing that gets me is like At Games is the perfect example. You buy them and you don't own them. Sorry, that's me. That they can take it away any second and lock you out of that machine, and you're just done. That you don't actually have something you could put in that, and it's yours. It's gone. The Garage Gamer says just because it's digital doesn't mean a console is dead, and that's what we're not trying to say. At least not to speak for Fox, but I don't think we're saying that if it's going digital it means it's dead necessarily. It's just different.
Right.
It's not going to be a home console that's a box connected to a TV that you have a controller connected to that you can put a disc in or even buy a game for. I think it's going to be just different all around. That's kind of how I feel. Saint Spirits asks, how much would you pay for a physical copy of a game? I would say the going rate of $70 is not bad if the game is actually on whatever I'm purchasing. If I'm purchasing a disc and it's $70 and I take it home and I put it in to whatever console it is and it just takes me and gives me a key to download it off the internet, that's where I'm like, what did I just buy? I might as well just buy the digital version because I don't have. It's the same thing. There's no difference. What about you, Fox? What's the most you'll pay for a physical copy of a game?
I want to echo exactly what you said. If I reach over here, let me grab a game, a generic game. Okay. Ooh, here, look at this, a sealed copy of Thunderstrike for the PS2. Just right. If I buy this, it is the complete game. There's no download, there's no DLC, there's nothing. PS3, PS4, whatever. If I'm buying a physical copy of the game that requires no other media, then as of today, 26, I'll pay $70 for a good AAA title if it's 100% the game in its totality. If, to your point, if I'm buying a key, I mean, if I'm just buying a key that allows me to download a digital copy, I 20, 30, I want nothing to do with that. I feel like if you're going to keep those lines separate, digital is digital, physical is physical. Make that distinction, and then I will gladly pay $70 for a game that's it's a good game. If it's a good game, if it's a complete game, I'll pay $70 right now to play on my current generation systems. I think that's fair because to understand, you had to make the game, you had to print the game onto a disc or a cartridge or what have you, produce the clamshell, maybe there's a manual, and you sent it to me. I'll pay extra. So $70 is kind of my top, though. That's about the most that I'll pay. Usually $50 for a run-of-the-mill re-release is what I'm comfortable with.
Well, Gamer Fridge says just pirate everything and you own it. Done.
Well, that's
allegedly.
better. Obviously, the better solution.
Mike Hawkhart says, as a physical collector, I'd like to see PS5 adopt mini game cards like the Switch. No, not likely to happen, but there is still a market for physical. And what's funny too is whenever I got my Steam Deck, I was looking at different SD cards. Your my brother-in-law, your sister's husband, but and he was like, yeah, there's guys that I know that will take SD cards and they'll like put it in their Steam Deck, download the game onto the SD card, then take the SD card out and like write the name of the game. And so every time they want to play it's like they had their own cartridges.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? But I mean, to be fair, I think that you and I, unfortunately, you and I are kind of a dying breed. We appreciate the physical. We appreciate the tactile experience more than the generations that will, go beyond, before us. And when I keep going back to that, how much of it is nostalgia and how much of it is just this human need to interact with something? I don't know that we want to stay in some hermetically sealed orb and not interact with anything. I think that we need to interact with things to be human. But some of this stuff is just going to fade away. And I think our job, is to preserve that as much as possible, pass that on, make the YouTube videos, instruct our children, show them, hey, look, this is a joystick, this is a button, this is a switch, this is, and educate them as much as possible so that they can appreciate it and they can in turn pass that on. But yeah, it's a curious time where we're at for sure.
Saint Spears says if it's Metal Gear, you'll pay $100.
I'll pay 200. I'll pay $200.
See
He knows me.
And to hopefully provide a glimmer of hope, our son, we have an iPad. Well, it's her iPad, but they use it sometimes. And there's still places on there you can draw and you can color and stuff like that. But our son is addicted to notepads. He loves having a notepad and a crayon where he can just draw because it's all physical. He can do that. And I actually the other day went on Amazon and I ordered a pack of 50 little notepads because he constantly wants a new one. He wants a new notepad. Yeah.
You two are raising them right. You're doing God's work. I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's so what he wants all the time. He wants a physical notepad. He can sit there and just he watches Blue's Clues, so he likes to draw clues.
Oh
and the
my
games
God.
they play are down here.
Yeah, so he'll draw like a door with a knob. And that's the clue, Dad. And I'm like, all right,
That's
yeah,
so
that's
cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is so cool. My oldest son, who was born in 98, okay, watched Blue's Clues, and it was so that takes me. I when I watch that show now, I'm transported back to that time, a simpler time, and it's. I don't know that you two maybe appreciate what you're providing for your children, and I think you should absolutely take a second and maybe pat yourself on the back. You're providing something that's so unique and different. I'm serious. It's a really cool thing you're providing for your kids. That experience, a crayon on a piece of paper. They don't need a battery. They don't need Wi-Fi for that. They don't need nothing needs to support that except their imagination. And that is so cool. So what you're doing is incredible.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah,
They both do.
Well,
honestly.
it's
Awesome.
And even tonight, the problem is he likes to go on Amazon now. Like as I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Is there a Steve notebook in there?" Like, and he wants to find a Steve notepad. Those things are like $20 a pop. They're $20 a pop on Amazon, and I'm like,
he has each one of the. He has Steve. He has Joe. He has Josh. He's got all the notebooks.
Yeah, and then I bought these generic, like it's a 50 pack for like I think it was like $25, and those are the ones
he calls them color notebooks because the cover is a different color.
So that's what he's going through right now. But it just shows that even as a kid, it's like that physical having that there is
yes.
But
it's so cool.
I don't know if we answered any questions or we
posed more questions.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I don't know if we helped or hurt in our conversation here, but this is just our opinions. You will give a review about Animal Crossing one day, maybe next week.
One of these days, yeah.
She's been playing the new Animal Crossing download. It just came out the new version of it, and last week I had it on there and she couldn't make it, and then this week I had it on there and she couldn't make it. So it's like one day.
That woman is working. That woman is working full time. Okay, raising those hellions. All right, so give her a break.
Yes. So she wants to talk about it. She's like, I want to talk about it. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah, because I have been playing, but this actually gives me an opportunity to play a little bit more because I haven't got to get too in depth in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will.
Right.
I will talk about it.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for everybody who's hanging out with us. I know it's been it's late here, at least on the eastern coast of things. So I appreciate.
Come on, it's early. It's fine.
It's just midnight. It's fine.
Fine.
And I'm on my second drink. I poured some more bourbon here, so I'm feeling pretty good. Late Night Live is next. I think they're already started here. So you guys, everyone who's in the chat, you'll be automatically redirected over there. So if you just stick around, you should be able to do that. Thank you so much, Fox, for coming on. I kind of wanted to ask you whenever I was on Super Game Dudes, like, hey, do you want to come hang out? But then I was like, I gotta pee and I gotta get ice and I gotta like, and then
I
you're like,
saw,
hey,
listen, I saw my friends struggling, and I said, listen, I will gladly help in any way I can. So,
so
and curse those super gamer dudes for keeping you so long. That was ridiculous.
yes. Yeah. But everybody, this weekend there's a lot of snow in a lot of different areas. So everybody,
Be
please
safe.
stay safe. Make sure you check out Fox's channel, of course. Sunday, 9 o'clock,
8
right?
o'clock.
9 o'clock.
8 o'clock
8
Eastern
o'clock.
Standard Time. It's the only time. It's the best time.
Yes, I'm ready for 9 o'clock. That's the members only. That's what I'm ready
That's
for.
right.
So that's
You get
that.
the special treatment.
Yes. Well, alrighty, guys. We'll catch you on the next one, and see ya. Bye.